Why? So I put all the rough. It's mostly rough, but in glamour it's the rough. And actually, these green ones are pretty nice, but they're still rough. You know, it's not clear. The rough is like 1 to 10 cents. Even though pretty much rocks will gem detect one or two and things. So like a bag like this, a carat will be like 2 cents. The gem is between 10 to 20 cents, or 10 to $1. It just depends on how clear, but it should mostly be clear. If it's not, to get anything else, but 10 to 20 cents per carat is a reasonable price. So, and also it basically it's basically, and then I'll just say a facet is, I mean that's the just what people are pretty much starting off with in the hobby, or in the business. Hobbies turn into businesses eventually, but lasting being at between $1 to $10 depending on the hardness. It makes every back with another gemstone video. I was putting handfuls in and looking for fractures, like a lot of these classifying, and then just separating some that are, um, you know, basically more clear, more solid, no real fractures in them. Maybe there'll be uh, a different mineral like topaz. Things like topaz is actually an 8, um, after sapphire. And then after that, an 8, then jade, and then florite. I'm gonna try. You gotta hold it at 90 degrees. I'm gonna try without touching the metal plate on the back, and then touching the plate. So that did go up and kind of held there. Um, so without touching the plate, and that's when, so I might have to take a break off of one stone. But without touching the plate, it shows up. So that can be close to a topaz. Well, no, it's actually like a 5. But these are all of my. Should turn on the classifier again. But this one was quite. So it's going up 2 bars. So I would consider. I mean, it just depends on the situation, but I would like to get $2 a carat for these. It goes up to 2, 3. So I mean, if it were a diamond, a carat, and maybe it just depends on the overall um weight or something. It just depends on just even how well tools and just so these are all detecting, they're all gem. So let me go ahead. How more clear? I mean, actually, there's one that is has a bad fracture in it. So probably wasn't, but it's a lot. These are more clearer than the other pieces. Semi-transparent, but they're all fractured. But most of these, I couldn't shine the light when it shined through these and stuff like that. So, um, so I hope everybody had a pretty good summer. It's hot August, kind of like the last putting it in a 3-inch baggie just because the 2-inch would have been too filled up, really filled up, I would say. Just depends. And I'm pretty sure I might find a few more, but this is most of my quartz or clear. I would say it's more quartz or clear, but just, you know, uh, things like that. Pretty good material for what it is. Basically, at least I have that much material. Now I'm going to use the scale. So I do have, so yeah, that's most of the class double classify. Make sure a couple of these other ones, fractures. There's tons of with this particular material, a lot of them were fractured. So there's this one is just a really small piece. Barely see it, but really small piece, looks like glass and things. But that I want to like how I could. So the scale turned on and it's at 000 as expected. So it doesn't drain the batteries just when it goes into sleep or standby. So it's this bag is 35.71 carats or grams actually. So if I multiply that by 5, it's 175 carats. You can imagine just even a baggie like this of pretty much gemstone compared to rough stone and things. A lot of people would pick up a small bag like this if they're gem collecting, but they'll only pay like $10 or $12. Be like, this is what I picked up, you know. So 175 carats at 1 or 2 bars. Let's just say one, you know. Um, if I was really tough on money and nice to get $175 for this, um, but since you know how so I'll only get $17.50 just on the 10 cents or on the real gem scale. The $175 for some reason, and this is just rough gemstone. The thing is, and also with the overall, like, even market and stuff. I mean, there's people that are making jewelry and stuff that might have the extra money. So that's what I would kind of, but they'll just be like, I mean, I definitely won't be able to get more than 1750 from them, but it'll be nice, if like even if I get even that good. And sometimes if just making items and things just geometrically and just images and things, kind of serves uh, some potential in just you know just something eye eye catching just for a minute. But for a bag of rubies, a bag of sapphire, then maybe 70, the 50% off, or just even my reds or my blues would be like $88, or my yellows, um, just because it's a different effect sometimes when the color comes to it. Um, and pretty much if without that, I would, I'll have a real hard time just knowing how much this will be worth. So that's what's kind of new and possible for myself. Really, I'm glad I classified it, and basically, you could turn one of these into maybe $17 each, or but yeah, if it were faceted, and stuff. And then it basically people want hard stones because it doesn't wear down, uh, during time and things like that. So these stones wouldn't be that valuable in jewelry just because they just look nice, but it it could wear down and then just be pretty much junk. So now I'm going to take these back out of the baggies, and then I need to size these up, get pretty much most of the larger pieces. It doesn't really matter, just whatever I could spot out, um, just as being larger. And and luckily I taped down this clear plastic tray. There's all types of tape around there so it doesn't fly off. And then I'm going to get a 2-inch baggie, and then so I actually got a few different like this one is like a real good square, but it's kind of in between, like something a little larger. It rounds off to more of a medium size. And also, before I forget, if I really wanted to do stuff with these gemstones and things, I could put a oil polish on them. These are actually some of the facet pieces that actually gem detected. So the oil actually gets really wax once it dries up. So I put in a little bit of detergent, and I could actually use some of this stuff in here on this rag, and then just kind of wipe. I could, you know, it'll all the facets and the stuff, the oil that it's basically muriatic mineral spirits and cooking oil, so it gets really gummy. So I gotta basically, so that might be a topaz. Some of these in this bag are actually gem detected. So but now I've just got some detergent right there, and the thing is, so I've got pretty much these sorted out. So I kind of keep baggies in one location. I got it in the bowl and just mix it around a little bit, and then just put them in a baggie, and basically they'll probably look a lot different or something like that. And even if use the cloth and then put them in a small baggie. All right, so these are pretty much oiled or polished, oil polished, and they do actually one either feel more clean, or I'm not sure exactly. These are pretty much medium size, so and also with the material, they're not a bad size for certain accents, or it's just some of the colors are just way different. So I have a few clear ones and a few of the glossy or more frosty, kind of frosty stuff. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna put these into a 2-inch also. So I'm just basically there's technically some oil residues in there, and this detergent is also kind of soapy, but it's got rubbing alcohol also in it. But I think all right, so I could so it's not like I paid I got 3 pounds of gem. I had to filter out, or sort out a lot of different materials. I did get quite a few, even this amount, just on the gem scale. I got basically a big bag of quartz stones. I actually got a bunch of the really white ones out of there and put it into a separate baggie.